All right, and welcome everyone to the new episode of Drunken Jurors, presented by the You Hate to See It cast. I'm Jeff.
I'm Spicy Adam.
I'm Nick. Hi.
Are you even really here? Like,
Yes, I'm here. What do you want from me?
responses within 2 seconds. Like, Jesus.
I had to remember my own fucking name.
The alcoholism's taking you over too much.
It's not my liver, it's my brain.
That's what processes my. That's why my liver's in such good health. My brain's actually the thing processing all the alcohol. Well, I am currently drinking a IPA called Rise of the Angels. It's a seasonal IPA by 18th Street Brewery, which is around me, and it's super tasty. It's actually like grapefruit and citrus. It's actually pretty nice.
I got a little over half a bottle of Sutter Home Family Vineyards Pink Moscato, and this isn't a normal just over half a bottle. This is one of the big bottles that doesn't tell me what size it is. But
isn't that like 1.75?
Yeah, that's like 64 ounces.
I don't know, I'm looking. 1.5 liters.
I was so close.
Well, I'm not
Canadian. So just over half of that.
Liters?
Canadian, everywhere outside of the U.S. uses.
Okay, I don't know what the.
Everywhere else uses the metric system. Yes.
Cool.
Did you know that?
I have a moon landing under my belt. I don't care.
And 2 world wars. 1.
Yeah.
The British use both, and it's a generation.
I didn't know that
because older people still use feet and inches in our unit of measurement, where the younger people are supposed to use the metric system because it's the normal, and so our generation of Brits can do both in their heads because older people only use feet, inches, miles, and stuff like that.
From what I remember hearing about it, it was like if it was casual conversation, it was in feet and miles and shit. But if like they're fucking talking about anything remotely scientific or historical, it goes to metric.
That's probably because the older people.
Well, I think that's how I think that's how it is here too. I think when it comes to like our scientists,
yeah,
they use metric system.
Yeah.
Because our system's fucking just so stupid because we're stubborn as fuck.
Hey, you don't fucking talk about imperial system, okay? That's gotten me through life.
I'm gonna teach my children both.
I mean, that would be helpful.
Yeah, maybe they'll be better.
Well, would you guys like to take a random guess on what we're going to talk about today?
Someone murdered someone with a quill.
I'm gonna guess someone murdered someone with a chainsaw.
No. Nick, I am kind of hitting a little bit on your dream.
Only because German.
Yeah, it's just German.
Yeah, okay. it's not a mid 18th century murder. Or mid 17th century murder. So no, you know what? Acceptable.
I'm kind of. You guys ever heard of Armin Meiwes?
I thought you were gonna say Armin Hammer.
No.
I thought you were about to say Hinterkaifeck, and I almost nutted.
Armin Meiwes.
No.
AKA the Rotenburg Cannibal?
Maybe, actually.
Please. Oh, hey, at least that was at the beginning, so I can fucking fix that audio peak real quick. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, Armin Meiwes was a cannibalistic internet user who became known as the Rotenburg Cannibal in the early 2000s. Armin Meiwes was born on December 1st, 1961, and I'm going to butcher a lot of this shit, by the way, Essen, Germany. He had a lonely childhood. When Meiwes was only 8 years old, his father abandoned the family. When his father left, he drained the bank accounts and left his mother in a financial and emotional struggle. His half-brothers left not long after his father, and then that left him and only his mother in the mansion.
Unless I do, Nick, would you like to point out the joke here?
Yeah, when I wrote that part down, I knew this thing was gonna happen.
So, Other than the time difference, them living in a mansion, and the fact that I'm Austrian, not German, that is
So-
surprisingly close to my life.
So I wouldn't consider, because I watched a documentary for this also.
You're about to tell me he was Austrian, weren't you?
No, I wouldn't call it a mansion as much as it was just a very, very, very large house. It was not fucking nice though.
Oh, guys, I think is that me? That might be me.
So yeah, Meiwes was raised by his mother, who had a domineering personality. She was very controlling and wanted him to achieve her dreams, and Meiwes grew up to be an introvert who longed to have friends. All right, so I didn't think about this while writing all this stuff, but damn, this sounds a lot like Nick. The next part I get into is not Nick, though.
We'll see.
You know, this was, again, there's like 3 differences. And the fact that one of them is such a slight difference is German to Austrian is actually the spooky part.
Was this guy also half Mexican?
No, he's.
That would have been wild. Was any of
He
his
is-
family Spanish?
I don't think so.
Did he have a neck beard?
No, he didn't have facial hair. He was also
Mm.
very.
That's probably
skinny.
because he has a neck beard. So
Yeah,
Maybe. I mean, it's possible. Well, no, it's because he was.
that's true.
We'll get into why he doesn't have facial. As a child, Meiwes read the story of Hansel and Gretel. The cannibalistic witch in the story fascinated him in his early days. And then he ended up creating an imaginary brother named Frank to vent his thoughts to. In his adolescent years, Meiwes fantasized about eating his friends so that they would always be a part of him. And then when he hit puberty, he ended up taking the thoughts and they became sexual fantasies that he wanted to act out. His mother was completely unaware of these tendencies, and she never let him lead the life he wished
Hey
for.
Jeff, why did you have to get my diary? Like, I don't appreciate this. Where did you find that?
I'm sitting here like as soon as you said his imaginary friend's name was Frank, all I was thinking of this little kid kicking in his bedroom door. Fuck Frank! I can't fucking tell you how fucking angry I am. I just feel like fuck Frank is a good opening to any random
Fuck Frank.
bullshit.
Especially, I mean, I don't know. Does anyone know the German word for fuck? Because I feel like the German word for fuck followed by Frank
Hey,
would
Google.
be very
I'll
aggressive.
effort it.
What's the German word for fuck? Schleim.
I'm gonna say right now, I pulled up German porn videos is the first thing that popped
I
up
love
for
it.
me. So-
You clearly did not type correctly into your search bar. Nothing on
I
anyone.
got
here?
it. God damn it.
Well, I
There you go.
have it. I'm gonna have them say it for me. Scheisse!
Right.
Scheisse, Frank!
Right.
Nice.
Well, that's not right. Oh, there you go.
Well, it's pronounced
Okay.
Scheisse.
I fucking got that shit right on the first try.
Well, I pulled up porn videos.
Well, you've lost.
So...
Yeah, someone here is clearly winning.
Scheisse.
Nick, what was your imaginary friend's name?
Stick and Puck. Who's I was not an imaginative child. Stick it.
Was it literally a hockey stick and a hockey puck?
Nick, you need to. We also do a non-video podcast.
Yes,
you need to
yes, it
verbalize.
was. It was just a literal hockey stick and a hockey puck named Stick and Puck.
I mean, honestly, I could also have seen you with just a normal outside stick and a hockey puck, calling it stick and puck, and that honestly, I wish it was that.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I ever had an imaginary friend growing up, and also if I did, I probably didn't have him for very long. 'Cause I
Hi.
don't fucking remember it.
Only child
Yeah.
in the suburbs.
I mean, same, but I didn't
You
really
didn't
do
play
imaginary
sports.
friends. But I watched. Oh, okay, yeah.
Well,
I
middle school.
watched Foster's Home for Imaginary Kids and thought that was
why-
amazing. So I had a
that's-
book of quote unquote imaginary friends that I had, and they were just me drawing things that
I
I
was
was like,
thinking
this
about
is
this
an
the other
imaginary
day.
friend, and I didn't.
I also had a book full of superheroes I would make, and my only memory of it is me asking everyone around me, "Hey, how many people are in a team and how many people are in a squad?" Because I wanted to get it right.
You
What's the
No one
answer?
ever gave me
Oh
one.
man, I would have.
Were you asking your imaginary friends?
Shit.
It's better than having an imaginary friend named Annabelle, who was the fucking doll.
Well, that automatically makes it not an imaginary friend if it has
if
a
it's speaking
physical
to you, it is, and
fucking
it's also
thing.
haunted.
I'm gonna grab another
like-
beer.
like-
Continue on with
like
your guys'
Gustav.
bullshit.
Is it Gustav or Gustav?
It's Gustav. Gotta hit that deep ooh. Yeah.
Like ghoul?
Gustav. No, there's no
Gustav.
L. Gustav.
Oh,
It's
So-
spelled
okay, so
GOOSTAUVE.
okay. So it's pronounced like the normal name, not spelt like the normal
No.
name.
There's like an umlaut over one of the O's.
I'm pretty sure. Isn't Gustav spelled
No, it's spelled
G-O-U?
GU. So
Ah.
it's Gustav.
mean-
Gustav.
Okay.
I'm now thinking of how Jeff's going to possibly do that, and it's just he's going to say it's Gustav, and then it just clips to Jeff saying, "Okay," and then moving on.
I mean, I got my clip for this fucking episode.
You're gonna ride Gustav out, so Jeff can't use it as a blooper. He has to put it.
And that means I got my 5-minute clip.
Jesus. As a youngster, Armin Meiwes lived with his mother at their family mansion. He worked with the army for a while, but continued to stay with his mother. Although this was good for him as he got to live a life away from his mother, and he stated that during his 12 years, his 12 years, he had almost forgotten about his fantasy completely. Later, he began working as a computer technician. Due to the tyrannical nature of his mother, Meiwes was never able to make friends, and he turned to the internet to find solace. He was attracted to sites that promoted pornography and
Hey,
cannibalism.
real quick, wait. What
Meiwes-
year is this? I don't think I ever caught that one.
This is in the
I'm assuming
90s.
late 90s.
The
based
murder
on the
happens.
internet and shit.
I mean, to
Yeah.
be fair, based on Nick's mother, he has turned to the internet to find solace. So maybe it wasn't porn and cannibalism, but I mean, I guess this really proves that it just takes one bad day.
Only thing I'm missing is the crippling porn addiction.
Wait, where's the? No one said he had a crippling
Oh,
porn addiction.
am I projecting again?
Yeah, he just. It just said he
Wow.
turned to porn, cannibalism.
I mean, we all turn to porn in our. I'm not.
Thank
gonna
you.
finish this. Figure out what
Thank
to
you.
do with that.
Huh. Meiwes was also a bisexual. He had gay relations with many of his army colleagues, and he made frequent visits to prostitutes. At one point, he reached out to the marriage bureau to find a woman to marry, and he then says that he was eventually engaged to her, but it did not last very long.
Germany?
Yeah, I guess, at least in the 90s, because that's what he was talking
I mean,
about.
yeah, you apply to find a wife. It's like Tinder, but before smartphones. But does anyone remember those fucking weird video dating things that used to happen?
Like the video you would make for your profile, like a MySpace type thing.
Yeah,
That
like
people
a
would
video of
use?
like I'm
Hi, I'm
Hi, I'm
Paul.
George, and I like long walks on the beach, and I salsa dance. Let me know if you're interested.
I hate online dating now.
And then the next video, and then the next video is him hanging from a noose with the same stool he was just sitting on for his video.
I mean, so because Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad had one, and he was on a talk show, and they found it and played it for everyone.
So, as
Jesus.
the only one here currently suffering from online dating, and yes, I do consider it an illness. I can only imagine how awful that would be back then.
Obviously, at this point, Meiwes lived a double life as he would go to work and,
Why would
hang
he
out
want
with his
two loves?
mom. Back
one
in
is hard enough.
uh, so back to what I was about to get into, and we're just gonna ignore that. His mom had a she was in a car accident in '96 that like really fucked her up. She was like from there on out like on crutches continuously and like could barely move around. So he had to deal with her a lot, but he also would babysit kids. And there was a lady in the documentary that they talked to that was one of his friends that he'd babysat for, who said he was like perfect with kids and everything. Like he would have never thought of this of him. And she's like, even to this day, even knowing what he did, I would still trust him around my kids. So yeah, and I think it was '99. After the passing of his mother, he spiraled out of control and started going onto cannibal chat sites.
A thing?
Have you guys ever heard? Oh, fuck you. Oh, God, I get to go into this little spiel. Yes, cannibal chat sites are a literal thing on the dark web, and like cannibals from around the world literally just continuously chat with each other. And on them, victims go on who like people who have a fantasy of wanting to be eaten. Oh, buddy, that's what this is about. Yeah, so there on the dark web, there are people who go on there and they put out like ads, like personal ads, and it's like oh, like American, like 5'11", 180 pounds, like hit me up if you want to eat me.
Have my
type of
left
thing.
calf chewed on.
What do you think? Well, hold on. Let me get into this a little bit. He started to respond to some people's ads who wanted to be eaten, and started to meet with them. One he met in a hotel room, and the guy asked him to make labels of body parts and attach them to him with needles.
Adam, it's like that. It's like that scene from The Boys, season 2. Oh,
I don't remember
the motel scene from The Boys. The dude who grows. I don't know if Jeff's watched it yet.
Yeah.
No. Some people wanted to be cooked like a rotisserie chicken. Some wanted to
Where
be
were
barbecued.
the spokes?
Other people.
I mean, I think it is just a straight pole that goes right up the axle and out the mouth.
Straight through. Yeah, man. I don't.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, we can try to. If you would like to talk about what we would. I mean, if you want to talk about the details.
I mean,
one,
I didn't know if
try.
they did Ewok style, fucking Pirates of the Caribbean style. There are many different styles of rotisserieing a human being.
Well, I said like a chicken, Nick. They didn't want to be rotisseried like a fucking human. But also maybe they just wanted to be tied to the pole and spun around.
And that's called a sex dream.
And then some people want to be slaughtered like a pig. Yeah, if you guys, you know that documentary on Netflix called Don't Fuck with Cats?
I was told by you and Butcher to watch it, but I never got around to it.
So the guy, I'll just spoiler alerts for everyone.
Yeah,
also, I should do the disclaimer now, even though I should have done it at the beginning. But disclaimer for this episode: there are very like horrifying and very in-depth descriptions of human mutilation and shit like that in here. Also spoilers for the Don't Fuck with Cats. I can't remember the fucking name of the guy. I think it's Luca Magnotta. Yeah. So this dude was a guy who he posted a video on the internet about killing a cat. Like he vacuum sealed it and just had it like it was a kitten. He vacuum sealed it and it just like suffocated to death. And people like he posted like a picture of it on Facebook without him in it, and like this group of people on Facebook devoted their lives to trying to figure out who the fuck posted this. Well, they end up finding out who it is. I mean, we might actually end up doing it. I think this might be one of our patron episodes eventually about him. But come behold, he's a cannibal. He's one of the cannibals that goes on these sites and looks for people. He ended up killing a dude who did not want to die if he ate, but he killed the dude, ate him, got away from like the police and everything. But yeah, there's some crazy shit.
That's
Cannibals are wild. Too bad Jeffrey Dahmer didn't live long enough. He could have just got all of his shit online.
That's terrifying. That's a terrifying
Amazon.
That's like remember when Shia LaBeouf posted like flags in the middle of nowhere, and like 4chan trollers would like fucking find that flag within like 30 minutes of him posting it, and we're at the flag within an hour. Yeah,
People are wild, dude. Especially
like
4chan users. Those
they
guys are
fucking have like they like scanned it against like a topographical map of like the world, and then like for one of them that used like star charts for somehow, even though it was in the middle of the day.
So yeah, but I'm not 100% because I don't think I've watched a couple documentaries on Magnata. I'm pretty sure actually the people who found out that he was the one that killed the cats is what got him caught for everything.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not 100%. It's that or he got mixed up with a different cannibal on accident and got caught through
yes.
bullshit, but I
Make
can't
sure
remember.
you don't interfere with two cannibals. Be careful.
You never know, man. No, I've watched a couple documentaries on Netflix or on Hulu about this. Like, there's like about the cannibals who use like the internet to find their victims, like the people who volunteer because they think they can, like, obviously if it's found out, like not be charged with anything because the person like volunteered their life to be eaten by a cannibal.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking wild. There's a lot of them around the world, and they like all know each other. It's really weird.
I mean, I can imagine it's a small community.
It's more than you would like to think there are.
You just eat a little bit, and then your body grows that back, and then you eat a little bit more, and then
That's called auto cannibalism.
No, you kill them and you eat them.
And that is the thing.
Yeah, it is. It's like people who like to eat their dead skin.
Basically, if you can think of something, there's an auto version of that. Really weird.
The cannibalistic tendencies in Armin Meiwes began to take a concrete shape in 1999, which was which was the year of his mother's death. A year after his mother's death, he posted an advertisement in a chat room looking for a well-built man who would be willing to be slaughtered and consumed. He used the pseudonym Frankie for his post.
Let me tell you, I have a guy named Jeff waiting right for you. Nothing, never mind.
What?
I don't know. I was fucking trying to make a half-ass joke. Look, not all of them can be bangers.
not all of them can bang.
Same, brother,
But
same.
we can all bang. With the German Matrimonial Bureau or whatever the fuck it is.
Though many people replied to his post, all of them developed cold feet later. Meiwes did not force them or make them do anything against
Yeah,
their
that's what happens
will.
when you cut them off. They lose circulation and you get a little cold.
It's a joke on
Got
cold
him.
feet. I can't wait for the part where I just make you cringe and crawl around in your seat for like 20 minutes. We're getting there, and it's going to be great. God, I hate you. I don't know how to say any of this dude's name. Burned Jurgen Armando Brands. We're just going to call him Brands because that's what I wrote out everywhere. He was an engineer from Berlin, and he answered his advertisement. Brands was like a very normal man, like also lived a double life basically, but he was super into, I don't know what the term is called, because the people who like to cause pain to people and it gets them off, they're called sadists. I don't know what the fuck that word is for people who like
Masochist,
pain done to them.
I
Crazy.
believe it's masochist.
Yes, I think it is masochist. Yes,
That's one of
he
the
was basically,
BDSMs. It's like bondage, sadism, and masochism. If I remember correctly.
yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah, he was like a huge masochist. He was also, so he was an engineer, but he also did like a side hustle basically. He was basically a male prostitute for a while, and they interviewed some of the people in the documentary about him, and he had this huge thing of wanting to be like completely emasculated. And when I mean like
Wait.
completely emasculated, I mean
Oh,
like he no longer wanted his penis.
Sounds like a job for Spicy
Guys
Adam.
ready to hear me hit soprano?
No.
They exchanged emails between them. And Brands 2 had an unhappy childhood. His mom committed suicide when he was 5, and then his dad just never talked about it. And then when he came out that he was openly gay, his dad just stopped talking to him completely. But yeah, Brands loved pain with his sexual partners. And then they ended up meeting at Brands ended up taking a train to Castle, which is like the nearest train station for Meiwes to get to. Meiwes picked him up. They went to his house at the appointed date and time and carried out their plan. All right, everyone. This is Sober Jeff. I'm here to read you the chat log between Brands and Meiwes. The guys did this while we recorded, and then we just recorded their reactions after reading it, but I'm going to read it to you guys so you guys have an idea of what was talked about. So yeah, this is the chat between Brands, who has the online name of Cater99. I'll just call it Cater, and then Meiwes has Antrophagus, but I'm just going to call him Frank for this. So it all starts out with Cater. Hello? Frank. Hi, Cater. What do you do professionally that you are up so late at night? Cater. I can't sleep well anymore because of our meeting. Frank. That's a sensible reason. Yesterday I was incredibly tired. It was a stressful day. Cater. I'm in telecommunications. Frank. Oh, that sounds interesting. Cater. I believe you. Frank. I'm looking forward to our meeting. It will definitely be really cool. Cater. I want it to be. I hope it's really cool. Are you setting an alarm clock? Frank. It's only a few days until March 9th. Cater. Still, I would rather meet you yesterday and felt your teeth. Frank. One can't have everything. There's still some time before you really feel my teeth. Cater. I hardly know what to expect. Have you slaughtered a man before? Frank. Unfortunately only in my dreams, but in my thoughts I do it every night. Cater. So I'm the first. You have eaten human flesh before, or have you not? Frank. No, you don't exactly find it in the supermarket, unfortunately. Cater. How do you know if it will taste good to you, or that the blood won't make you sick? Frank. I'm readying myself with my dreams. Once I was so excited, I grabbed a needle and drew my own blood so I can drink it. Cater. And your blood, it tasted good to you? Frank. It was quite tasty. Once I was drilling some holes and the drill slipped right into my hand. That was a real treat. Blood is the juice of life. It contains everything a person needs for nutrition. Cater. Then I hope you won't wilt, that you can really see through without a problem. Frank. To bite into your penis will certainly not be easy. Living flesh is somewhat more resistant than fried, but one thing is certain, our dream will be fulfilled. Cater. There's not much in it, as there is muscle. Frank. Yeah, but the penis is principally a spongy material filled with blood. Cater. For both our sakes, I hope that's true. I hope you have also already thought about what's to be done with the rest. Fulfilling the dream shouldn't become a nightmare for you. No one will know where I've disappeared to. Frank. After you're dead, I'll take you out and expertly carve you up. Except for a pair of knees and some fleshy trash, skin, cartilage, and tendons, there won't be much left of you. Cater. There'll be a good bit, like the knees. I hope you have a good hiding place for them. Frank. I'll dry out the knees and grind them up soon after. Cater. Okay. They're good as fertilizer. I heard that once. I see you've thought about it. Good. Sounds like I'm the first. Frank. And you won't be the last, hopefully. I've already considered catching a young person from the street, but I would rather kill only those who want to be killed. Cater. That also doesn't sound bad, but yeah, seeing as it's not so totally legal, this in my eyes is better than yanking somebody directly off the street. Frank. Exactly. I'd do it if it were legal. All right, and you guys just got done reading that. For everyone else listening, or for the unedited, you'll have to look it up. We'll put a link in like the description or something, so you guys can look it up and read it. Because I'm not gonna read it on video for you guys, because I'm doing that at a later time. But yeah, that is a part of their chat that they had.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I like how they first of all, the random, yeah, I can't wait to bite your penis was that was that
Came
that
out
was
of
the
fucking
Yeah.
left field.
yeah, that was a little left fieldy. And then I mean the okay, since I'm your first, let's talk about how to dispose of me. Like that made sense. Like that but then they both were like completely okay with the randomly murdering someone on the side of the street. And I was like
They're not randomly murdering someone. He's murdering him.
well, yeah, but then when they talked
They
about
don't want to do that.
I had
though.
rather just do it to someone on the side of the street, and he was like, "Yeah."
He didn't say I would rather. He said you just can't really find someone on the side of the street who would be
The
open
thing that's
to it.
that like gets me for some reason is the real awkward beginning where it's like, yeah, I'm in communications. I believe you. That's just
Yeah.
like,
So,
it's just weird. And it makes sense because I can guarantee you these are two.
it's an online chat room to eat
Yeah,
each
this
other.
is these are two people who are horrible at social interaction. So that kind of
I wouldn't say they're horrible at
I'd
it.
say
I feel
were
like they were
pretty-
doing a pretty good
eh,
job of interacting. With
I mean,
each
once
other.
they
I
got
think
into
they're
their
bad
niche.
at. I don't think that they're bad at interacting because they both had they both held very high end jobs. Like he was in the army for 12 years. Clearly, he can communicate with
That's
people. And the
did it
other
say
one's
if he
in
was
fucking
enlisted or an
engineering.
officer?
So it just said that he had a lot of promotions. So it seemed like he did pretty
Okay.
well. I don't
He-
know much about the German army
He
though.
probably got at least 3 promotions to become an asshole.
It's true. He
Nice.
probably did.
Probably true.
He was actually so smart that he probably fought in World War One. Actually, but
For those watching the live stream,
Ignore that
for those
little
watching the live
tidbit.
stream, go watch Biloxi, please.
not the live stream. But yes,
Yeah, whatever.
Are you saying this
yeah,
isn't
Jeff, what are you
live?
saying?
yeah.
This is
Yes,
leg
that's-
day.
Because I say this every fucking time we record these that they're not live. Fascinating. All right, so on March 9th, 2001, Brands met Meiwes at his mansion. It says met. They got to his mansion. Meiwes and Brands captured the whole incident on video. Once they were at the mansion, Brands walked into the dining room and undressed so Meiwes could admire his dinner.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like the
Yeah.
wording.
That's what he told him. That's in quotes. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's not great.
Like it's one of those like oddly sexual things that like, ooh, you ready for your dinner? But
Oh,
at the
it's
same
like-
time,
it's
it's
like
also the
completely
same thing.
different meaning.
Well, that's the great thing because for him, it had both meanings.
People say you're a snack, but you know you're the whole ass meal.
Damn. They then moved up to the second floor where Meiwes had created a slaughter room. Once they were in the room, they both undressed and laid in the bed and proceeded to talk and play love games and then had sex. So that room that I said, that creepy room that I said we'll get to later, that was the slaughter room, obviously. So during sex, Brands told Meiwes that he was feeble because he could not fulfill his ultimate fantasy, which was being eaten alive. So after sex, they then went back to the train station. But once there, Meiwes had changed his mind. So they then went and bought sleeping pills and cough medicine in the thought that if Brands was drugged enough, he could do it.
So the guy who originally was like the guy who wanted to be eaten got the cold feet after
No.
sex. No, okay.
No, his fantasy was to be eaten alive.
Yeah.
The guy, the actual cannibal, his whole thing, he talks about it in the documentary. He wasn't into doing it while they were alive. Like, he wanted the person to be willing and to be dead.
So
He
kill
talks
them
about it,
first and then
eat.
them.
Yes. That was his thing. So that's where this part came in, where he was like, you're feeble because you won't fulfill my fantasy of being eaten alive. So they went to the train station, and then Meiwes said, because Meiwes doesn't like, we'll get into it later, but he doesn't like murder. Like that wasn't a thing that he was into. Like he wanted to eat people, but he didn't want to, do the job of killing people. That not all cannibals are murderers, Nick.
I feel like that's kind of in the job description.
It's not a job.
It's a hobby.
Yeah, clearly.
I like to fly model airplanes. I don't like to make model airplanes.
Wild.
As weird of a way of describing that, he kind of did it in a weird way. But no, so he talks about it in the documentary. The documentary is called Interview with a Cannibal. Super simple name. It came out in 2007, I believe, where they actually interview him. And he talks about how he never wanted to like kill anyone. He just wanted to like eat someone. And so that was like the big issue why he said like, oh, you won't eat me alive type of thing. He's like, because he didn't want to inflict pain on people. He just wanted to eat human flesh. So yeah, but he thought that if he got Brands like high enough and drunk enough on sleeping pills and cough medicine that he would like possibly not feel the pain, because he didn't obviously have like painkillers or anything like that. So yeah, they went back to the mansion and went back to the slaughter room. Brands told Meiwes told him to cut his penis off. Meiwes then went on to amputate Brand's penis, which he originally wanted Meiwes to bite off. When he first attempted to cut off his penis, it did not work because the knife was too dull.
Ooh.
After grabbing a new knife, he said it took a matter of seconds to cut off Brand's penis. Brand screamed for only about 20 to 30 seconds after this, and then stopped and said it no longer hurt. Which, if you were wondering, right before this, Brands had consumed, well, not right before, clearly enough time before, Brands had consumed 20 sleeping pills and an entire bottle of
This
cough
man was
syrup.
dying regardless of that night. That night.
Well, you think that, but how long he lives is something fun. Yeah, so I mean, as a man, like you can only say, like I'm literally like kind of twitching, like as a hearing like this. Like,
I want to throw up.
Yeah, like I'm like very like I had to hear the dude like describe this, and I was like listening to the documentary, and I was like just like shivering in my seat. I was like, I want to die. It's fucking wild. But yeah, Brandt had actually told a couple of his sexual partners that he wanted them to bite his penis off. So this is like a huge thing he had always wanted, which is weird and wild. I don't get it at all.
I mean, talk about teeth during a blowjob.
Oh no.
The real toothy one.
There's also, I didn't hear it in the documentary, but I was reading stuff. There are, oh god, everyone's gonna need to take a deep breath for this one. There are reports that he couldn't bite off his penis, but he did burst his balls in his mouth.
Oh. Oh god. Oh, we've lost Nicholas. I'm at the state that I'm only going to be laughing from here on out to hide the fact that I am in extremely uncomfortable pain.
Oh, I'm just drinking so much.
I mean, I'm at that. I'm just laughing to get through kind of.
I don't like it, but I'm here.
That's same, brother, same. Oh my god. Oh my god. Whew. All right. Big boy pants.
Oh, that's how we got into this.
So yeah, after yep. Yeah, I know we became adults. Fucking horrible. Brands then told Meiwes to cut his penis in half, and both men tried to eat it together. However, Brands failed in this attempt because his breathing was slowed down so much that he couldn't chew.
Yeah, he was half fucking sleeping tablet at that point.
Now here's my question. Did he cut the penis hot dog or hamburger?
Hot dog. dog. Like long, he cut it
long ways. He cut the long
yeah,
ways.
yeah. He went into detail on that in the documentary too. That was great.
I was just wondering because maybe the head tastes different than the shaft, and whoever got the shaft half was probably going to be disappointed that they didn't get the tip.
Buddy,
So-
hold on. Yeah, keep making jokes. It only gets worse. So yes, obviously, neither of them could eat it because it was too tough and too quote unquote chewy. Meat then sauteed the penis in a pan with salt, pepper, and garlic, but by then it was too shriveled and overcooked to be consumed. He then chopped it into chunks and fed it to his dog.
I mean, Carol Baskins fed her husband to the tiger, so.
All right, that's enough of the penis torture. God, fuck that. Oh my god, that is a time. That is a thing that
I
happened.
didn't like that.
Oh, buddy, none of us did. So as Brands lay bleeding,
I'd like to point out Jeff was talking to his own penis in that instance, not to Nick.
As Brands lay bleeding and drifting in and out of consciousness, Meiwes gave him a bath and prayed for him, and then read a Star Trek book for 3 hours while Brands was in the bath.
Hold up.
Brands went.
That's such an oddly specific thing to be doing.
You got to get caught up, dude. Star Trek was huge in the 90s, man. Well, and I guess early 2000s if you were raised in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, so basically what I remember from the documentary on this part is he said that Brands was like super happy in the bath because he was gushing blood and it looked like a fountain. And it also might have just been because he was high as shit and it looked entertaining.
Squirtle go Squirtle.
I feel like
I want to point out I'm gonna make a disclaimer for the beginning. I'm gonna re-record it, but this is for the unedited part. We're not laughing because we think this is funny. We're laughing because we're uncomfortable as fuck, and I don't know how else to handle that. So yeah, Brands was in the bathtub for like 2.5 hours, was drifting in and out of consciousness, was not dead, by the way. Gets up, calls for Meiwes, says he wants to go back upstairs, but goes back unconscious. So Meiwes carries him up to the second floor, back to the slaughter room. Brands was then sitting there. They kind of had a conversation. Brands then went out of consciousness again, and this time like it seemed like for good to Meiwes, and that's when he like sat down and like prayed. And he says in the documentary, he's like, I didn't know who I was praying to, and he's like, I didn't know if it was God or the devil, but I just know that at this point I needed to like follow through with what I wanted to do. And he then slit Brand's throat.
Oh, how merciful.
He then took his body and hung it on a meat hook he had put into the slaughter room to finish.
Wait, where were they doing this?
In the slaughter room in his mansion.
Oh, right. Oh.
He had made a slaughter room. Like after his mom died, he made one. There's a meat hook. There was a like bench, like a butcher's bench. And yeah, it was weird. Butcher's table, whatever you want to fucking call it. Yeah, so he hung it from the meat hook to let it finish like bleeding out, basically. Meiwes then cut body parts and stored them in the freezer. This is a part that I've seen pictures of. He had a deep freezer that he cut up the body parts and stored them in the deep freezer. And he even tried to grind the bones to use them for flour. The whole scene was recorded on a 4-hour videotape. Basically, the deep freeze, how he had it was he took the body and laid it on the bottom, and he had a false bottom on it, and then covered it with like normal like beef, pork, and like chicken and stuff like that. Yeah, so he tried to use the bones for flour, and it was all recorded for like 4 hours of like the video's never been released. I'm sure if you
Thank God.
dove deep enough, I'm sure you can find it somewhere on the internet. I saw the pictures from the video, a couple of them that got leaked, but like there's video of like literally all of it, like him cutting off his penis, like everything. Like it's super fucked.
I may not sleep well tonight.
Meiwes then ate the body over the next 10 months, and he stored the body part in a false door on the freezer, or a false bottom on the freezer, and he ended up consuming a total of 20 kilograms of flesh. He stated it tasted like pork, but a little bit more harsh. Bones, I guess, like gamey, maybe. Like, because he had it labeled as wild pork, like wild pig. So probably like a little bit more gamey.
For us people of a moon-faring country, that's 44 pounds.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's about what a normal person eats in a year, like just in like red meat.
Yeah. The bones and scraps were buried in the backyard, like the skull, some of the intestines, and the bones after he found out he could not make flour out of them. He would eat the parts as a part of his dinner sometimes with red wine potatoes. So I put this part here, but it should go later. But psychiatrists that like were a part of his trial state that he could be a part of the general prison population because he wasn't a threat to society at all because he was in complete control of his urges. Which, I mean, technically is true. He did wait until someone literally told him that it was okay for him to kill him and eat him. So.
How kind.
True. So Meiwes was arrested in December 2002 after apparently posting a new advertisement for victims on the internet. If I don't remember, I think in the documentary, I think he talks about it. If I'm correct, I'm not 100% sure, but I think there was a guy who like got cold feet basically, and then like went to the authorities saying like, "Hey, fuck, there's like a bunch of like, there's like a whole thing going on here."
Wild.
Like there's a whole thing of like cannibals on the internet and blah blah blah. That's actually now that I remember, I think that is how they found Magnata. Was the whole internet, like someone coming out and being like, "Holy, hey guys, there's a whole fucking internet chat room for cannibals." Yeah, so investigators ended up showing up and searched his home and found body parts and the videotape of the killing. The video is apparently so disturbing that many of those who saw it sought psychological counseling afterwards. Which makes sense.
I want it now.
Yeah, that's true.
I haven't even seen it yet.
Meiwes was later Meiwes was later convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 8.5 years in prison. So I don't know exactly how everything works over in Germany, but here obviously manslaughter is like, I guess it's like involuntary manslaughter means you killed someone without the intent of killing them. Like it was like an accident. Like involuntary manslaughter falls under like DUIs. Like that's a really good example. Is like someone who was drunk driving and accidentally like T-boned someone and someone died in it. That would be an involuntary manslaughter.
That would be vehicular manslaughter. Yeah.
Yeah. And
how would I'm just curious how they classified this.
This would have been premeditated murder. This should have been premeditated. This would have been first-degree murder. In the U.S., this would have been first degree.
But at the same time,
with heinous, this would have been a death penalty case.
Well, depending on what state, but yeah.
But he had.
I think this might have crossed federal lines in the U.S., so it could have been a federal case.
It depends on if it depends. Well, hold on. That depends on if it crossed state lines. It would become federal. Also, I don't know. I mean, it's weird, but I don't know if like they could believe that it was like voluntary. Like I don't know if like maybe in the video, because it's never come out, like if at the beginning of the video he had Brands be like, "Hey, like this is who I am, and like I am willing to be killed and eaten by this man." Blah blah blah. Like, I don't know if they went through that.
Legal in Germany?
I don't know, but I don't think that's euthanasia. I think euthanasia, you have to
No, but so here's my thought process. Passive euthanasia is legal in Germany if requested. Okay. So my thought process behind this is that a country that views euthanasia as something that's acceptable would take a leaner stance on something like this if the victim wanted it. Whereas a country like the US, where euthanasia, for those who don't know, is euthanasia's like medical killing. Like, hey, I have cancer. I don't want to go through the next 2 years of chemo. Give me an overdose of morphine. In a country like the US, where euthanasia is, for the most part, culturally frowned upon and is most certainly illegal. I'm all states, I believe. A country like the US would view something like this as premeditated, as heinous, even if the victim wanted it.
This is straight up 100% first degree murder in the United States.
Oh yeah. This again, I'm pretty sure something like this happens in the States regardless.
He had motive and the intent. Like,
I'm pretty sure there's something like this. A U.S. attorney would probably would be able to find something that would make this a federal case, and he would get death penalty if the state didn't have death penalty.
Probably.
Like, if this happens in Texas, this man's getting the chair, like without a doubt.
This case attracted considerable media attention and led to a debate over whether Meiwes could be connected or convicted at all, given that Brands had voluntarily and knowingly participated in the act. In April 2005, a German court ordered a retrial after prosecutors appealed his sentence. They believed he should have been convicted of murder, not manslaughter, and given a life sentence. Because he was technically, when he was convicted, I believe his manslaughter charge was only like 8 years max.
Yeah, that's what I read on the thing you sent.
Yeah, it was like 7 to 8 years or some shit,
which is ridiculous for something like this.
Yeah.
I doubt Germany has death penalty. I'm gonna look it up, but I doubt Germany has death penalty.
Among the questions courts answered is whether Brands agreed to his killing and whether he was legally capable of doing so at the moment of killing, taking into account that his apparent mental problems as well as his significant intake of alcohol and drugs. Other aspects of the retrial determined whether Meiwes killed to satiate his own desires, in particular sexual desires, and not because he was asked to, which Meiwes had repeatedly rejected during testimony. At his retrial, a psychologist stated that Meiwes could reoffend and still had fantasies about devouring the flesh of young people. On the 9th of May of 2006, a court in Frankfurt convicted Meiwes of murder and sentenced him to life imprisonment, which he is still currently, I believe it's still at the Castle prison, but which he is still obviously.
Hey Jeff, I'm about to hand feed you this educational tag. All 16 German states outlaw capital punishment. This was in the new German Constitution, so that was post World War I and post unification. But the German state of Hesse, which predates the current German Constitution, outlawed capital punishment in 2018.
So he could have been up for it.
Assuming he was in the state of Hesse. I don't know if you know what state this was in. Do you know what city?
Yeah, it's with Rotenburg. It's called the Rotenburg case.
Germany.
Honestly, it's wild that this happened. That you said
this was in
and
Bavaria.
So it all is Frank's fault. It all comes back to Frank.
God damn it!
Fucking Frank.
This is in. For the record, this is the German state of Bavaria.
Okay. Well, good to know. I mean, as much as it fucking sucked, here we are. You guys got anything you want to add to this?
I'm good after that.
To cry myself to sleep.
Yep, that adds up.
Oh, hi.
All right, well, thanks everyone for listening. Greatly appreciate it. If you would like to follow us on social media, you can find us at You Hate to See It on social medias, specifically on Twitter at YOUH82CIT. And you can follow us on Podbean. And if you go to Podbean, if you go to you type in You Hate to See It, on the top right corner of our page is Become a Patron. If you click on that, there are multiple different tiers starting at $1 and increasing in money value, increasing in all the goods that you can get from us, depending on how much you want to pay us monthly, of course. But yeah, you can possibly watch this unedited with video. And yeah, again, thanks for listening. Nick, what you got?
Remember, people, professionals have standards. I think judging by our reactions to this, you can tell we are most certainly not professionals.
This is very true. Adam, take it away. Understandable. do your thing. Do the thing.
If anything else, we're better than this person.
Anymore, we don't know. It's a new year, new us. We don't know if we're better than you, but we're definitely better than this guy.
Yeah.
Say goodbye to Gustav.
Bye, Gustav.
Fuck you.